Hello, all of you. Here we begin with day 6 of our GST class with the third chapter, right? Hoping all of you have utilized this festival time and this break time to cover up your missed lectures. And material is there with all of you, hard copy printout so that you can scribble what I'm saying. And I've given lot of running notes for supply. Thank you so much for all of you who have sent pictures of the running notes for supply in our challengers and telegram group. Very good about it. So happy. Now only 2 to 3 classes are left in the morning schedule for TCS, for how to compute the total income, how to read the question, how to interpret and start 14 marks question. So once I complete that, my other schedule will shift and then we can take daily classes, evening 6:15 to 8:15. This is our schedule. Okay, right? Now, in case if you are attending it for the first time, then recorded videos are there in the app, which are unlocked for limited time. Don't ask me to keep ki usko recording ko free mein de do. Mat puchna. Then you are not disciplined. See, you can see sometimes the attendance is like students are coming and going. If they know the recording is available, neither they listen to live class nor they watch the recording. Baad mein that doesn't come. So not taking these classes in YouTube and taking it here, the only reason is so that you take the best benefit of live classes. Anytime in between you have any confusion, use the chat box and you can also unmute and speak up. Until now, we have completed the basics. What is direct tax, indirect tax, output, input, all that in the first chapter, Constitution, GST Council and all. Then in the second chapter, which was like beautiful, we have studied the definition and parameters of supply. Only 2 sections are there, section 7 and 8. But in section 7, there are subsections also and there are 3 schedules. So schedule 1 is deemed supply. 4 cases wherein either they are not related to business or consideration is missing, any one of the pillar, still it is treated as deemed supply. So those cases are covered in schedule 1 in section 7. And whatever sections I'm saying, it's like section 7 of the CGST Act 2017. Schedule 2 said, okay, if this is a supply, is it supply of goods or is it supply of services? That's what is schedule 2. Then we have schedule 3. What is schedule 3? It's talking about negative list. Some services like services provided by court and mortuary and all those burial funeral services like this. So there are certain services on which GST is not chargeable. Followed? So that's given negative list in schedule 3. Then last class, we have discussed about all the services, okay, right, which are covered under negative list. And also we have discussed the composite supply and mixed supply. You know what is composite supply? Yeah, right? Composite supply is like C for composite, C for complementary. This is given in section 8. ये बार बार बोलना है. I hope I'm doing revision with all of you. Chat box is on. Any doubts you have, you can ask. Okay. So now what is this? Is composite supply. Composite supply says when these are two products are complementary. For example, when you buy a mobile phone, you are getting battery. You don't need to buy battery separately. But separately, if battery is available, say GST is chargeable 12%, but mobile phone say 18%. So now this is a composite supply put together, complementary, naturally bundled. Then in that case, what will the GST rate be for this mobile phone with battery? It will be, which is the principal supply. What's your main aim? To buy battery or to buy mobile phone? Mobile phone. So whatever is the GST rate of the principal supply, that will be charged on this bundle supply. Okay, right? Same way we have mixed supply. Mixed supply is not naturally bundled. It's like we are making combos and selling. Whenever festival comes now, Ugadi and Dashera and Diwali, we make combos, like Haldiram, one Kaju Katli, one mixture and one Sharbat bottle. They make combo and they sell it. Individually also these items are available. So if they make a combo, this combo, what rate of GST will be charged? Highest rate. Is this clear to all of you? Right. Now, what we are doing is, this is all about chapter 2. Chapter 2, literally, they will give you the cases. Okay, is it a supply? And most important exam point of view is composite and mixed supply, which I said now, and importation of service. Importation of service is treated as interstate supply, and GST is charged on import of service with consideration related to business, taxable. With consideration, okay, not related to business, still taxable if it is between related and distinct person. समझ में आ रहा है? पैसे तो आ रहे हैं, but it is personal. For example, I am hiring an interior decorator from Canada for my home's interior decoration. So is it import of service? Yes. Consideration is coming? Yes. Is it related to business? No. Personal, still taxable. Now, without consideration, between related and distinct person, related to business, still taxable. Without consideration, not even related to business, not taxable. Followed how this flowchart we have made and we have written also. Okay. Is this revision helpful to all of you? Now we are starting with chapter 3, which is most easiest, but it's like chargeability section. Who asked you to charge salary, income to tax? Section 15, it's the chargeability. Who said charge rental, income pay tax, house property? Chargeability section 22. Business at 28. Chargeability section is okay, knock knock, aa jao. So like that, who told you to charge GST? Yeah, then we have different acts. If it is interstate supply, we charge IGST as per the IGST Act, which is say 18%. Now, if it is intrastate supply within the same state, we charge CGST 50%, that's 9% of 18, which goes to center, and SGST, which goes to state. Are you all with me? So intrastate what we charge, interstate what we charge is clear. Section 9 and 10 are two very easy. If I take a marathon of 3.5 hours, I can complete this chapter on spot with questions. If you have taken the printout of this chapter, have you seen at the back I have given around 11-12 questions? They are all past exams questions. So simple questions are there. Okay, can this person go for composition? Is this chargeable to tax? Yeah. So now section 9 is levy of GST. Section 9 of CGST Act says, okay, you can charge GST on supply of goods or services at the rate which is given. If it is goods, then the rate are given as per HSN, Harmonized System of Nomenclature, वो tariff schedule में दिया है. If it is service tax, then according to the service accounting code. So charge the GST. Ma'am, but charge GST on what? On value of supply. What is value of supply? Chapter 5. Matlab, what should be the value on which 18% GST is to be charged? That's a practical topic. Until now, hats off if you are keeping the patience. Students will run away. Ma'am, to theory पढ़ा रहे. क्या करें? Theory ही है. But theory nahi hai. They are not going to ask you any straight theory question. They will ask you, apply this and say, can we levy GST on this? Yes. Now, once I say section 9 is banging and saying GST is to be levied as per section 9 on the value of the supply of goods or services decided as per section 15, charge GST. But ma'am, GST should be charged on forward charge or it should be charged on reverse mechanism. So for that, directly we are going to our notebooks. 80% of definitions I've covered in the third class. Third class में मैंने कुछ पढ़ाया ही नहीं. I just did definitions of related person, distinct person, recipient, supplier, all. So anyone who has not done it nicely, go and read and do it, because every chapter they are giving definitions. अब कितने बार definitions पढ़ेंगे? So I thought third class whole I spared in the definitions. ठीक है? Right now open your notebook and we are starting writing the important notes. Ma'am, what's the purpose of writing the notes? You all know it. When you write the notes for once also, you learn it, right? Yes. Dear students, this classes is going to be completely in English. If you have any doubts, you can ask in Hindi. I might crack jokes in Hindi, but I don't understand one thing. I can explain the whole class in Hindi also. Absolutely well. But you have to write that language. When I say supply should be for furtherance of business. Supply na business purpose ke liye hona chahiye. You have to write the answer in English. I know being little tough when I'm saying this for some of the students, but don't make it your weakness. I have taught to a students 2 minutes before I start. These are all real incidences who have inspired me like anything. One of my student, Arun, he is a chartered accountant working too good in a construction company. He joined foundation. He cleared. I think I'm talking about 2010. Tab ki baat hai. Arun, when he came into Inter, he was not knowing English. This is an actual case. And honestly, his father was an onion vendor. He was not doing much good also, but he was very inquisitive. I want to write professional exam. We used to take classes in English. He will understand. He will ask his doubts. After the class, I am ready to stay till the last student is leaving the Zoom meet. जो doubt है वो पूछना, ठीक है? Now this student, when I used to give chapter wise exam and he used to write answers, his writing was not cursive. He used to write each word separately. Sorry, we should never doubt any of our students. That's what the lesson I learned that day. And this student, when he used to write the class test, I said he doesn't know English. Accounts to manage kar lega, costing law kaise karega. And then he used to write individual letters. So morning our classes were 8 to 3. Every day evening he used to go to the English Institute, yeah, in the Osmania University and learn English speaking along with CA Inter classes. He took time. He didn't clear in first attempt, but then he completed his CA. If you don't agree, please unmute and speak up. मेरे class में कोई मेरा dominance नहीं है. And whatever I talk like this extra, no, that will make a perfect mind shift which is required for final exam. So can I say if you can follow English, it's enough because you have to write these wordings. Supply, which is for consideration. It should be for the furtherance of business. For consideration coming. Consideration can be sale, barter, anything. Huh? So you need to write this unless you're writing the paper in Hindi. ठीक है बेटा? कोशिश करो. You will understand all, and I am ready to help you out of the way. I don't know. I don't believe that I have got rank for this student, that student. अब वो जो है 2 decades से. But every student whom I have held uplifted, and they are doing superb in their life now. This reward is like excellent. What I feel. Otherwise, I can like boom in the YouTube. There are ways how to boom in the YouTube. वो नहीं करना है, हाँ? चलो ठीक है, तो शुरू करते हैं. Trust me, start writing notes and share your notes today itself in the. I was thinking, why didn't I switch on the live in YouTube? But that's for the income tax class. Okay. चलो notes लिखते हैं, share करना है आपको. Whenever I say sections, they are all related. Only 2 classes I need for this chapter because it's very easy. Chapter 3, this is chargeability. You all remember how chargeability section is there? Charge of GST. Charge of GST. Okay. This is going to cover section 9. Levy of GST. And section 10, one of my favorites. If you say, ma'am, section 10 पहले पढ़ा दो, मैं पढ़ा दूंगी. इतना अच्छा है, इतना easy है और इतना scoring it is in exam. Composition levy. Mindset I am building, so write the sections. Section 9 is levy of GST. Section 10 is composition levy. These are all the sections of CGST Act 2017. CGST Act 2017. Same levy of GST is section 5 of IGST Act if you want to listen. Okay. Same section is section 5 of IGST Act if you want to listen. All clear to all of you? बेटा सबको clear है ये? चलो next now. They say section 9 says what? There are 5 sections we are going to do. Section 9.1 talks about forward charge. Now I will draw a diagram and show you what is a forward charge and what is a GS reverse charge. Forward charge. Okay? Right? Kishan has sold goods to Raman 1 lakh, and on that 18% is the GST, 18,000, 1 lakh, 18,000. Are you all writing? Kishan has sold the goods to Raman. Raman will claim input tax credit of 18,000 if Raman is a registered supplier. Who is a registered supplier? Who is registered under section 22 or 24 of the CGST Act? Act में जो registered है, so he can claim input tax credit, and for Raman 1 lakh is purchase. Okay? Kishan will pay output tax 18,000. It's payable. And if Kishan has also purchased from someone, output minus input, the difference value addition. So who will pay the tax? Output tax? Kishan. Kishan has sold the goods to Raman. So Kishan will pay output tax. Kishan will file monthly return, and Kishan should be registered. You remember the parameters of supply? Yeah, supply should be by a taxable person who is registered. Buyer may or may not be registered. If Raman is a consumer, he is not registered. Then what? No ITC. Finally, when we bring this home, MRP inclusive of all taxes, Raman has to bear GST 1,18,000 and consume the goods. Have you finished writing also? So what is forward charge? In forward charge, seller is paying all the tax to government. Who is paying all the taxes and everything? Forward charge mein seller. Okay, right. Now, section 9.2. I'm explaining it in a very simple ways. Section 9.2 says GST is not levied. Ma'am, we have already done this. What are the product or the list on which GST is not levied? Shall we write it for remembering for MCQ purpose? GST is not levied on petrol and diesel. Petrol, diesel, motor spirit. That's also a variant of petrol. Then ATF, aviation turbine fuel used in flights, and then natural gas. These items, the taxes are levied still by state, excise and all, and center, this is not levied. Clear to all of you? Right. So this is section 9.2. You may have studied this earlier. How do you want it to be, like a crash course? So एक दिन में एक chapter khatam, or you want to produce it in the answer sheet and get marks, then write it. एक ही class extra लगेगा for every chapter. So GST is not allowed or not levied. Following products are out of GST: petroleum, diesel, motor spirit, ATF, natural gas. On all this, GST is going to be collected from future date. Right? And now we are talking about section 9.3. 9.3 is RCM. So many places I will give you the short form. What is FCM? Forward charge mechanism. Ma'am, seller should pay the tax. RCM. What is RCM? RCM. Who will pay the reverse charge mechanism. I'll give an example which is usually asked in exam. Okay, exam में यही example आता है. Okay. Rohan is having a sole proprietorship concern and he's having 2-3 cabs. So he's providing cab service for employees of Arch Limited. Arch Limited is a company, and for the employees of Arch Limited, they have entered into a contract with Rohan, who is SP, sole proprietor, having 2-3 cabs. So he's a chota mota transporter, right? Now, who is the supplier of the service? Rohan. Who is the recipient of the service? Yeah. Why did I write supplier and recipient? Ma'am, why didn't you write seller and buyer? Because they are dealing into services. So instead of writing seller, even for supply of goods or supply of services, from now onwards, let us polish our language to supplier. So better it will look in your exam also. Now, supplier. Who is the supplier of service provider? Supplier, or I can also call it as service provider. See, again I am saying lecture 3 and chapter 2 के beginning में I have given you all the definition of who is the service provider, supplier, right? So who is supplying, giving the service? Rohan. Rohan should charge on his service GST. See, cab service is covered under 1 lakh. Okay, right. So he's going to bill 1 lakh and on 18% GST 18,000. 1 lakh 18,000. Now, generally, the seller or the supplier of the service should pay GST to government. But under RCM, reverse charge mechanism, it's reverse. Who will pay the GST to the government? Arch Limited. GST payable on RCM basis. By whom? Arch Limited, because they are registered recipient. Had they also been unregistered, no problem. But they are registered, and Rohan is a small sole proprietor, maybe is unregistered. So he cannot charge GST. You all know a person who is not registered under GST, he cannot issue tax invoice. So he will issue the invoice of 1 lakh. Arch Limited on RCM basis should pay 18,000 GST. Now registration, return. Registration की बात आती है, return. Until now, did you observe here? Return, registration, all was with the supplier. But in RCM, the responsibility has shifted to the recipient. Recipient, Arch Limited should pay the tax. Arch Limited should get registered. Arch Limited should file the return. Okay, tax will be paid to government by Arch Limited. Can they take input tax credit? Yes, input tax credit can be availed. Khudi tax, he will only pay the tax and he will only avail the input tax credit, because ultimately it's input for Arch Limited. Okay, I have taken a cab service, 1 lakh, which will go in my P&L account, and 18,000 is my expense. So Arch Limited can avail input tax credit. Clear to all of you? So under reverse charge mechanism, the whole burden has shifted to the recipient or the buyer. He has to pay the tax. Recipient will pay the tax. Who is recipient? Who pays money? 1 lakh rupees for services, कौन किसको pay करेगा? Arch Limited will pay. So he will get registered, he will file the return, but definitely he can take input tax credit. He is paying, but he can take the input tax credit. Clear to all of you, right? Now, when we take the aggregate turnover. Ma'am, what do you mean by aggregate turnover? On this definition, 4 marks question is asked. ये है, वो है, वो है. What is the aggregate turnover? Abhi we'll go to that while we go to composition. Right now, in the aggregate turnover, is this the turnover of the supplier or the recipient? Supplier. Aggregate turnover of supplier, this will be included. Understand the concept. My notes are for you to understand the concept of RCM and apply it and solve 4 marks easy question and get full marks in GST. It's a promise. Ma'am, ये नहीं समझा aggregate turnover वाला. See, cab service is giving service to Arch Limited, to one other person, to C Limited, to Z Limited, jo bhi. So what 1 lakh rupees services who has rendered? Rohan, right? Rohan has rendered 1 lakh rupees service. तो ये किसका टर्नओवर है? ग्रॉस रिसीट है रोहन का. Arch Limited has just paid the tax, GST, which actually should be paid by Rohan. But he's a chota mota person giving cab service to the company. Can company afford to pay? Huh? Like, these are such easy example, without going into 9.3 section, there are so many services in which the service recipient is paying the tax. For example, insurance company is receiving the service from insurance agent. Who is giving service? Agent. To whom? Insurance company. The whole insurance business goes on agency service. Insurance agent is giving service to insurance company. Right? So insurance company will charge commission and all. On that GST कौन pay करेगा? Insurance company. Agent is छोटा मोटा person, no? He will not pay the GST. So now let us see in 9.3 cases on which GST is paid on the reverse charge. Ma'am, how will we come to know? They have given a list of cases. Okay, in this case, I am the supplier. It's included in my aggregate turnover. You are the recipient. You pay GST on RCM basis, huh? Arch Limited. But this is not your sales. I want you to digest this. I know something very conflicting. 1 lakh is my turnover, but I am unregistered. So I am asking Arch Limited, you are receiver of service ना, you pay 18,000 GST. हम कैब में साथ में जाते हैं, मेरे पास चेंज नहीं है, तुम दे दो जरा 50 रुपए. I'm saying you pay 18,000. Yeah, you take credit of 18,000. Then Arch Limited, this is not your turnover. Huh? Turnover on which Arch Limited has paid GST on RCM basis is not your turnover. That's my turnover. This will surely come in MCQ. And after listening to my classes carefully, if you attempt any June 23, December 23 CMA exam or CA exam paper, you will correlate the test. Whenever you take coaching, the quality of coaching depends upon the level of the problems and examples what we are doing. ठीक है? Okay. Now a pause. यहाँ तक clear है? What is 9.1? What is 9.1? Say again. Yeah? Chargeability, charge GST. Ma'am, at what rates? Given. If they are goods, the rate is given in the HSN code. HSN code are 2-digit, 4-digit, 6-digit, 8-digit based on your turn. If you're providing service accounting code, SAC. Charge karo na GST on goods on services. If it is state rate, half. I mean, say CGST, SGST. IGST है तो पूरा सीधा 18%, 24%. 9.2 says, dare you touch these products? On these products, the GST is going to be levied from a future date. वो future date कब आएगा पता नहीं. आना चाहिए. Third one says, on the following goods and services, GST is to be paid on RCM basis. RCM basis का list we will check in detail. Shall I move ahead? नहीं, अभी और 2 sections बाकी हैं. I'm here only. Section 9.4. RCM is applicable. अभी हमने देखा ना RCM का फुल फॉर्म क्या है बेटा? रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म is applicable when goods are supplied by unregistered supplier. On goods, normally RCM is not applicable. Supplier should charge the GST. Right? But if supplier should charge the GST, correct hai, when RCM is applicable when goods are supplied by unregistered supplier. But if supplier is unregistered, he cannot charge GST in tax invoice. He cannot pay the tax to government. Then who will pay the tax? The recipient. Followed? Right? And 9.5 is there's a middleman. Nowadays, everything is online, right from Swiggy to Urban Clap to your app. Sub kirana hona to what is that? Zest, youngest person in India who's supplying the groceries also in 10 minutes. Zest or something like that. Then for all the services, Urban Clap. You need a plumber, Urban Clap. You need food, then Swiggy and Zomato. So these all are called as e-commerce operator. You know, let me tell you, e-commerce operator are service provider or recipient? I want you all to answer in the chat box. E-commerce operator, I want all of you to refer if you're attending morning class with me. Refer section 194O of TDS. आज ही सुबह पढ़ा है वो और ये एक ही डायग्राम है. It's one and the same thing. I want answer from you all. In case of e-commerce operator, are the e-commerce operator supplier or recipient? Bolo. Supplier है कि recipient है e-commerce operator? क्या है? Are you all following or not? Is e-commerce operator a supplier or a recipient? Supplier. Okay. Some more answers. One second, there is no break. Just read it and write the notes 2 minutes. There's beautiful question asked for e-commerce operator. Thank you for waiting, dear students. E-commerce operator is neither a supplier nor a recipient. Am I right? Huh? This is e-commerce operator. For goods, let us take the example of Flipkart. For services, you can take an example of Urban Clap. For food, you can take the example of Swiggy. E-commerce operator will supply goods and services to the recipient. Means we can call them as clients. An e-commerce operator will get these products from the supplier. Am I right? When you are placing order on Amazon, that's an e-commerce, electronic commerce operator. ओके Amazon में आप बुक ऑर्डर दे रहे, आप कौन हैं? स्टूडेंट्स. You are placing the order on Amazon. Who am I? Supplier of the income tax Sarathi book. I get order. I supply it to you, but billing and all payment will be done through e-commerce operator. Customer will pay payment. Payment कहाँ से क्या जा रहा है? Payment कौन किसको कर रहा है? हाँ, recipient is paying to e-commerce operator. E-commerce operator, are they generating business for the supplier? They will deduct TDS under section 194O and pay. Now my question here is, government is saying आप तीनों मिलके कुछ भी करो, कुछ भी खिचड़ी पकाओ. I'm liking the way you all are answering. He's not a supplier. He's not. Whatever khichdi you make, we want GST. Who's going to pay GST? E-commerce operator will pay GST. Yes or no? When you book the cab through Ola, you ask that person is the owner of cab. Cab wala is the supplier of the service. I am booking the Ola cab, I am the recipient. But we are booking it through app. The app name is Ola Uber. So they are paying the GST to government. They are like middlemen. Are you getting this diagram? This is clearing your GST part and this is linking 194O because you have to write 100 marks paper together. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं? Who will deduct the TDS? E-commerce operator while making payment to supplier because he is generating income for supplier. So 194O mein he will deduct the TDS at the rate of 10% and then pay. But who will pay the GST to government? E-commerce operator. So ma'am, what are the cases that we will check in detail? That's all for today's class. Abhi we are, अरे खत्म नहीं हुआ class. We are seeing what is section 9(1) forward charge. I call it as chargeability. You know, landing flight की landing कैसे होती है? वैसे we are landing in the GST Act. Ready now 9(1) forward charge. Okay, there is supply of goods and services. Let seller pay the GST to the government. Ma'am, but seller also paid earlier. This is a chain, blah blah. What we have done in chapter 1. You can continue. Section 2. Section 9(2) says GST is not levied. In fact, GST is not levied on alcohol for human consumption also, but that's not covered here. That is anyhow not chargeable. 9(3) reverse charge mechanism. All the responsibility of payment of tax, registration, returns shift to the recipient of the service on reverse charge mechanism. See, if you don't know supply, you will not understand this chapter, dear students, honestly. If you don't know RCM, you will not understand ITC when I go to the next chapter, right? But still, can the recipient who is paying the tax on RCM basis take credit? Yes, right. RCM is applicable when goods are supplied by unregistered supplier. Then also RCM is applicable. And 9(5) says e-commerce operator are liable to pay GST on few of the services. Ma'am, can we name them? Yes, there are 4 services. Let us check on in detail. Finish writing the notes. AC, all clear until now? Learn हो रहा है section 9. What is section 10? Composition levy. All lopsided in the favor of supplier. जा जी ले अपनी जिंदगी. Don't worry. Monthly payment, quarterly return, no hassle, nothing. Simple. Whatever is your turnover, pay the tax. Bye bye. Who is that? Composition supplier. That we'll do where? section 10. If you write the sections, it's like impressive. If you don't write, there is no minus mark. But if you want to clear, however hard work we do in income tax, even I'm doing a lot of hard work with my students. Last 2 days, we are juggling to remember TDS limits and rates, yet TCS we have to do tomorrow. Input tax, I mean say, overseas to package, जहाँ पे amendment है. ये तो बहुत easy है. These chapters are like, orally you talk to each other, you know. Genuinely, you can just message anyone in the group is free to do oral revision on a Zoom call or virtually on a phone call. You can revise in 15 minutes. If you are focused, if you want to do quality study, record your own voice, make your own notes. However colorful flowcharts are given to you, you are not going to use ये कोई हम ज्योग्राफी का पेपर नहीं लिख रहे हैं, हम कोई मैप नहीं बना रहे हैं. आपको एफर्ट करना ही पड़ेगा, राइट? चलो, आई एम शेयरिंग नाउ द मटेरियल विद ऑल ऑफ यू. Oh, 1 second. What happened? Any doubt you have, you can ask. Chalo. Can you see? Arey, what is happening? Screen sharing is getting close. Aajo. We are in the third chapter now. That is charge of the GST. Okay. Reverse charge. Ma'am, you didn't explain what is forward charge in the definition. I hope with my diagram it was clear. Reverse charge means the liability to pay tax by the recipient of the goods or services or the instead of supplier is shifted to the recipient, right? So liability to pay tax by the recipient of supply of goods or services instead of supplier. Liability to pay tax किसको आएगा? Recipient. Section 9394. 93 is list of services on which the GST is payable on RCM basis. 94 is specifically the goods which are supplied through unregistered supplier. Name, I am the unregistered supplier. I can't issue you tax invoice. You pay the GST. Simple. It must be noted that GST being an indirect tax, the burden of ultimately the tax has to be passed on the recipient. In case of RCM, the burden to pay tax is on recipient. Compliance requirement, registration, deposit, filing of return, all has been shifted from the supplier to the recipient. However, recipient can take input tax credit of GST. If this line is not clear, सिर नहीं हिलाना. बोलो, ये line clear है? Recipient is paying the tax to government on 1,18,000. But can recipient के लिए, is it a purchase? Is it an input? Yes. Can he take the credit of 18,000? Answer is yes. Okay. Now, central tax means the central goods and service tax. Integrated tax means integrated goods and service tax. State tax means which is levied by SGST. And there are some cases wherein it's called as exempted supply. Means on this supply, either it is completely exempt or it is made non-taxable or nil rate. Sub include is. Exempted supply means supply of goods or services which has nil rate, zero rate, or which may be completely exempt. Under section 11, we will see exempted ki ispe GST लगता ही नहीं. For example, a doctor giving service to patient. Is it a service? Yes. Is it chargeable to GST? No, because it's a philanthropic service. So it's exempted. Doctor, but private doctor giving fancy services like hair transplant, plastic surgery, these are not basic necessities. Very well chargeable to GST. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? So what is the meaning of exempted supply? It might be nil rate, or it might be exempted, or it will include non-taxable supply. Supply on which GST is not there from the base rate. Okay, right. This all I started the class with. Intra-state agar hai, so we will charge CGST, SGST, and for 3 union territories. See, there are 28 states and 3 union territories with their own legislation. So these many acts we will have for states. And if it is interstate, when the supplier and the recipient are located in different states or different unit territory, then IGST is levied. IGST rate is same, double of CGST and SGST. Now this is what I have made you write. What is section 9.1? Forward charge mechanism. 9.2 GST is not levied on following products. 9.3 RCM. 9.4 RCM when goods are supplied by unregistered person. 9.5 intrastate supply through e-commerce supplier. Right? Now, section 9.1 levy and collection of the CGST. This is like, like a prayer we have been doing from day one. All intrastate supplies except the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Value is to be determined as per section 15 and rates is chargeable not exceeding 20%. 20% CGST rate मतलब 40% किसी पे charge नहीं होता. Last is 14%. That's total 28%. But they've said that not exceeding 20%. These are rates of what? CGST shall be collected and it shall be payable by a taxable person. Can I say section 9.1 is talking? I want all of you to write. You'll have the notes. Please don't say you have not taken a printout. लेने कोई time नहीं लगता है. Unless you don't take a printout, you will not get the feel of the exam. Ma'am, same question was asked. I had read from the screen and I had read from hard copy. It makes a lot of difference. Levy and collection of the CGST forward charge mechanism. Section 9.2 levy of CGST on petroleum products to be effective from future date. Petrol, diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, ATF. हाँ, इस पे अभी तो GST नहीं लग रहा है. 9.3 CGST is to be paid on reverse charge basis, RCM basis. Government may, on the recommendation of council. Which council? GST council. It has a chairman as the finance minister, then every state's minister. By notification, specify the category of goods or service on which tax shall be paid on RCM by the recipient. All the provisions of act shall apply to recipient as if he is the person liable for paying the tax. Con recipient. So when recipient is liable to pay tax, should he be registered? Yeah. Should he file monthly return? Yeah. So all the compliances will shift from the supplier to the recipient. This is also a question asked in exam. Taxable supply of goods or services by unregistered supplier to registered supplier. Yeah. If the supplier is not registered but the recipient is registered, and if it is a taxable supply, the recipient will pay. Okay. See, ma'am, what's the difference in 9.3 and 9.4? 9.3 are specific goods and services. They have clearly said ki forget about the registration. 9.3 में these goods, these services, tax is to be paid by the recipient. Okay. 9.3. 9.4 says if the supplier is unregistered, recipient is registered. Rohan Cab Wala is unregistered. Arch Limited is registered. What? ठीक है? Supply of goods taxable under RCM where taxes payable by the recipient. This one line I have given as an example. Raw cotton supplied by agriculturist to a registered person. Supplier of the lottery by the state government to the agent. So agent will pay the tax. ठीक है? But R for reading. यहाँ से important है. And straight question is asked. You see how easy level question is asked. Now what I am explaining, no figure, no limits, no rates, simple, casual, conceptual knowledge. गाने की तरह सुन लो ये. And no one is going to ask you list the activity, so you don't have to buttify the list. Supply of services on which tax will be payable under RCM under the CGST Act 2017. Okay. First one, supply of services by GTA, Goods Transport Agency. in respect of transportation of the goods by road to a factory, society, cooperative society, person registered under the IGST Act, body corporate, partnership firm, or casual taxable person. You know, if I am a registered supplier in Telangana, I am having a boutique, and I am a registered supplier in Telangana. Now, if I go to Mumbai and on Juhu Beach in a hotel, I have put up an exhibition. For Maharashtra, what will I become? CTP, casual taxable person. More detail of this we will discuss in registration chapter. But is the term clear to you? So, who is providing the goods transport service? Yeah, GTA. You know, goods transport service, it's like consignment. You have to take the goods from Hyderabad and make them reach Delhi. Yeah, buy goods by road. So you are supplying the goods to a factory. Who is the recipient? Factory, society, cooperative society, person, body corporate, partnership firm. Whether registered or not, isko underline karo. Because once they asked a question that GTA provided service to a partnership firm which is unregistered. Partnership firm का registration हुआ है नहीं, but if they are registered in GST, fine enough, they are liable to pay, right? And who is the recipient? Same, supplied by two. So these people are only recipient. GTA, other than who has not paid GST 6%. I'll tell you what's the story of this. Keep patience. So GTA has provided service to factory, society, cooperative society, registered person, company, partnership firm, and CTP. And who is the GTA? Other than who paid 6%. 6% CGST and SGST, 6%. So total 12% is forward charge mechanism. So now GTA has got an option. Please leave the table aside and come below that. आ जाओ नीचे. Yeah, anyone is having doubt, ask, and don't take this easy. इसको साथ में मेरे साथ learn कर लो. Some of you are like, ma'am, this is super clear. Still learn and go. Okay? Right. State with reason the person liable to pay GST in each of the following independent cases. Oh, sorry, ये तो question आ गया. GTA का आंसर मुझे बताना था. One second, dear students. It's the same I have given for the motor vehicle service, and same is applicable to the GTA. Okay. We'll make a small flowchart for this in your notebook, please. GTA. Option 1. Write down all of you. Option 1. What is one with option with GTA? Pay tax, forward charge mechanism 12%. 6% CGST, 6% SGST, forward charge mechanism, and avail ITC. Goods Transport Agency saying, no, we are registered. We don't want to go under RCM. We will only pay the GST at the rate of 12%, applicable on goods transport business, 6% CGST, 6% HGST. Option 2. What is option 2? GTA is giving service to factory, company, partnership firm, cooperative society. You can write all this name. Tax paid by recipient on RCM. GTA is providing the service to factory, cooperative society, partnership firm, casual taxable person. Tax paid by these people on RCM, at the rate of 5%. Now tell me, is this knowledge clear to you? Goods transport agency who supplies goods to road, they have option. They can ask the recipient to pay the tax on RCM basis, and then in this case, no input tax credit. GTA खुद ने कोई जो GST पे किया है for providing this service, it will not get an ITC. Clear to all of you? But the first option says GTA saying, no, we are registered. We are a brand. We are ready to pay 12% GST. Yeah. And then we will also avail ITC. Let the buyer also avail ITC factory and all. And let the chain continue. Dear students, did you digest one thing? Chain टूटा नहीं है. Even in RCM, the recipient of the goods who is paying money, he is paying the GST, but he is taking input tax credit. So that chain is still going. I want all of you to write this for MCQs, coal full marks. GTA can pay forward charge mechanism में 12% tax, 6% CGST, 6% HGST. Or GTA can say no, will not avail ITC. Tax is to be paid by recipient on RCM basis, only 5%. Clear to all of you about the GTA? I don't think for that whole table we need to write the notes. Still, if you feel anywhere, ma'am, can you give more notes? It will just take 5 minutes extra. हाँ? चलो आ जाओ. तो अभी ये clear है. Goods transport agency is the supplier who has not paid the tax, because if you pay the tax 6% and this, you are going for FCM, and this is you are going for RCM. So this is over. Now, services supplied by individual advocate, including senior advocate who is more than 10 years practice and all, by way of representative services before any court, tribunal or authority, directly, indirectly, to any business entity located in taxable territory, including where contract for provision of service has been entered through another advocate, or by firm of advocate by way of legal service. So individual advocate, senior advocate, or firm of advocate. Individual advocate, senior advocate, firm of advocate, giving service to whom? Business entity, which is located in taxable territory. What is taxable territory, dear students? Whole of India. है ना? So if these people are giving services to business entity, हाँ? अब ये देखो एडवोकेट्स बोल रहे हैं हम सर्विस दे रहे हैं ना, हम जीएसटी पे नहीं करेंगे. As an advocate, if I am giving service to a business entity partnership firm, I will raise for my services 50,000 bill. On this, say 6,000 is the GST. GST कौन pay करेगा? Business entity. But ma'am, can the business entity claim input tax credit? Yes, no problem. I want some response from all of you. Is my speed fine? I don't think break is required. We started late and I don't want to bird it. It's a small but quality good topic. So section 9 और उसके question आज करेंगे. Section 10 और उसके questions tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Only for this week it's alternate day. Next week onwards, everyday class. Chalo. Services supplied by arbitrary tribunal. You know what is arbitral tribunal? Arbitral tribunal is like a family court. Yeah. So when there's a fight, two business owners, they go to arbitral tribunal. Yeah. So arbitral tribunal is giving service to whom? Business entity. Yes. Arbitral, if you know it also, I'm making you learn. So stay connected. I feel we'll finish in another 40 minutes. Then your wish. If you say just introduce composition tax, I'll do. Or else whole topic we can take in one single class with question answer. Services supplied by arbitrary tribunal to business entity. Arbitrary tribunal is like small family court if there's a dispute. So they are giving service to business entity which is registered. So who will pay the tax? Business entity. Who will take the credit? Business entity, right? Services provided by way of sponsorship to any body, corporate or partnership firm. Sponsorship services are given. So say we are sponsoring the service and we are giving sponsorship service to a body company for their event or a partnership firm, then tax will be paid by the body, corporate or the partnership firm. Okay? Right. Next, services supplied by, this one is critical. Very good examples are there. Thoda language bhi alag hai, dhyan se karo. Services supplied by central government, state government, union territory, local authority, excluding, yeah. So some services which are supplied by union territory or local authority. So who is giving the services? Government to business entity. So government giving services to business entity, government should charge GST from the business entity. But who will pay the GST on RCM basis? Business entity. Can they take the input tax credit? Yes. Okay, right? Excluding renting of immovable property. So these are excluding means, I want all of you to write here, RCM not applicable. Sub FCM hi lagega. FCM applicable. Like if government is renting of immovable property, the government will charge GST. Services by postal department. See, postal department, very few services are exempt now. Speed post, parcel post, life insurance services पे postal department. See, I am sending you all books through the speed post. Government का जो post office है वहीं से मैं post कर रही हूँ. मैं कोई courier agency के पास नहीं जा रही हूँ. So I am sending you the books by speed post. So on speed post, government is only collecting GST. So it's a forward charge mechanism. They are giving services to concept classes. They are only charging. Renting of immovable property. Central government will charge GST. Department of Post will charge GST. Services in relation to aircraft or vessel inside or outside the precincts of an port or airport. Yeah. So services related to aircraft or vessel. So in the port area, whatever aircraft services and all, GST is charged by them only. If you are booking the tickets, you bear the GST, but ultimately it's charged and collected by the airlines. You don't pay on RCM basis. Transport of goods and passengers. If central government, state के भी तो buses होते हैं ना, right? Now few non-AC buses and all are तो exempt. वो हम chapter 4 में पढ़ेंगे. There are some services which are exempt, but services of central government for transport of goods and passengers, if they are taxable, upfront the tax is collected on forward charge. Just know it, and that's enough for all of you. Services supplied by central government by way of renting of immovable property to a person who is registered. Here it was business entity. So if they are giving renting of the property to a person who is registered, then the tax will be payable under RCM by a registered person. Central government giving immovable property on rent to business entity, then forward charge mechanism. Central government giving renting of immovable property to a registered person. Just revise this 2-3 times. ऐसे ऊपर से घुसो मत, याद रहेगा जितना जरूरी है. There are few topics like chapter 3, this part. Composition tax will solve all questions, quality good. तो ये वाला part और आपका what do you say? 4th chapter also, exemption. So many services are exempt. You cannot by heart that. Just know you will remember what is required. Services by way of renting of residential dwelling to a registered person. So if you are letting out a property to a registered person, right? See, if this person's supplier is also registered, no problem. But if his landlord is unregistered and he is giving the premises on rent to a company. Company is paying rent to a landlord who is unregistered. तो फिर कौन टैक्स पे करेगा? कंपनी, RCM basis पे. हाँ, right? This is renting of residential dwelling to a registered person, but same applies. Commercial also. Unregistered giving service to registered, registered will pay. Services supplied by any person by way of transfer of the development rights, TDRs, for construction project. Okay, I am the owner of the plot and you are the promoter. You are making a tower. Redevelopment बहुत चल रहा है ना? So I have given my redevelopment rights to you. I am just a owner of the land. Purana plot I am having. I am the owner of the land and you are doing the redevelopment. Yeah. So if I am giving you the rights to redevelop my property, and if GST is payable, GST कौन pay करेगा? Promoter. Long term lease, 30 years and more. You all know the difference between rent and lease. Most of the commercial properties are on lease. Rent means 3 months time. If you want to vacate, tell me 3 months in advance. Yeah. If I want you to vacate 3 months, I'll say, and you will leave the organization. But the problem here is that especially in case of commercial properties, say we go to a mall where they have spent so much for the interiors, West Side, Hyderabad Central, Woodland. If you go to any of the showroom of Woodland, they have wooden flooring itself. So they have done so much of expenditure and someone landlord will say, "Arey khali karo," aise thodi hota hai. So though they take it on long-term rental agreement, which is called as lease. So long-term lease, 30 years or more by any person against consideration upfront. Okay? By any person to the promoter. Promoter will pay the tax. Okay? So, they give the premises on lease. Like Runway 9 and so many places outskirts. दे देते हैं 20 years, 30 years lease पे चलाते रहो. And then it is given to whom those promoters will pay the tax. This one is asked in exam. Ma'am, what is important? Can you mark? Yes, definitely I'll mark. Until now, what is important? GTA. GTA, what diagram I have drawn in notebook is important. और उसके बाद अब ये important है. Services supplied by director of a company or a body corporate to said company. So director of a company or a body corporate giving the service to company. Like board of directors attend the meeting and they get sitting fees. So on this GST is levied. So who will pay the GST to government? Directors will get 10,000 sitting fees and 1800 GST lagega. So though these are supplying the services of attending the board meeting to the company, who will pay the GST to the government? Company. Who can claim input tax credit? Company. Services supplied by insurance agent to the insurance company. Agent is giving service to insurance company, but he's a chota mota agent. So insurance company is like giant. They will pay the tax. Services supplied by recovery agent to a bank or financial institute or NBFC. Recovery agents meaning is like gundas. In fact, in your material, you have definitions of all this, which if I give, no, it will go into pages or zarat bhi nahi. But any term, if you feel Dipti ma'am didn't explain the meaning, ma'am, not definition, but can you explain the meaning? Please ask. Like recovery agents are not gundas, they are genuinely the agents of the bank. Bank is saying, okay, these are our EMIs, we could not recover. You can recover. Against that, they have given this collateral. So, recovery agent will help the bank to recover the money. Are they giving services? Yes. Is it chargeable to GST? Yes. But who will pay the GST to government? Recovery agent ne bill banaya. This month we did recovery on that. Our commission is 10,000 and 1,800 is the GST. Who will pay the GST to government? Bank. Who will take the input tax credit of GST? Bank. This is also asked. ये जो 2-3 पूछते हैं. Supplier of service by author, music composer, photographer, artist. or by way of transfer of permitting of equipment and all. So you know what happens, like author of the book, he gives his rights to the publisher. When you buy the book, you buy it from the publisher. You go to book exhibition and say Jacob book publisher, they are selling the books of this author, right? So who is giving the services to whom? Author is giving the service to the publisher. Music composer is making music for the movie, he is giving music to music company T series. Music composer is Pritam Da. So he's a music composer, right? Jatin Lalit, koi bhi le lo, Lakshmikant Pyarelal. They are composing the music and they are giving the copyright of this music to music company. Okay, T series, you have got exclusive right of our music. Against that, T series will give royalty and all. So here, who is giving service? Author, music composer, photographer. You photographer is giving services and he can say, you can use my photograph on the front page of the magazine. So on this, who will pay the GST to government on RCM basis? Publisher, music company, producer. Located in taxable territory means they are registered. So they will pay the GST. Supply of service by way of author permitting the use of enjoyment of copyright. Author can choose to pay tax under forward charge by making registration. So this is one new. अच्छा 5 में भी एक ऐड हुआ था, वो रह गया कि मैंने बताया. Yeah, this one is a recent amendment. ये वाला. Services by way of renting of residential dwelling to a registered person. Especially, I can give one example for this is residential dwelling. I am an individual, Dipti Chheda, is owning a building given on rent to ABC Limited. ABC Limited is owning this flat to give rent-free accommodation to its directors. ABC Limited ने ये फ्लैट रेंट पे लिया दीप्ति छेड़ा से. Example is clear. To give it to its employees as rent-free accommodation. Who is paying the rent? ABC Limited. Is GST payable? Yes. Who is ABC Limited? Service recipient. But he will pay the tax on RCM. 5A को important mark करो. It's one of the amendment. Very important amendment. 5AA. Chalo. Where were we? Here. So author has got an option to pay himself the tax because he is giving service to the publisher. But then condition is he can choose to pay tax under forward charge by taking a registration. He shall not withdraw the option within 1 year and he will make a declaration on the invoice issued by him. So he has to issue tax invoice. Author, you want to go for forward charge mechanism, then you have to get yourself registered. You can issue tax invoice and you cannot opt out in the middle of the year. 1 year, so you have to go in forward charge mechanism. If not, then let the publisher pay the GST under the RCM. Author has got an option. Services supplied by members of Overseas Committee of RBI. You know, RBI itself is like monitoring all the banks. Now there's an overseas, overall dekh lo hum bolte hain na. So overseas work committee's work is to look after the work of RBI. Is RBI complying or not? Then overseas committee is giving service to RBI. Who will pay the tax under RCM? RBI. Who will take input tax credit? RBI. Services supplied by individual direct selling agents other than a body corporate partnership or limited liability to bank NBFCs. Okay, right? So these direct selling agents are nothing. You know, nowadays you often get calls, ma'am, am I speaking to Dipti Chheda? दोपहर में नींद में से उठा देते हैं. Said yes, 2:30 in the afternoon. They say, ma'am, I'm calling from HDFC loan because you're a chartered accountant. You are eligible for a professional loan of fine. Like, अरे नहीं चाहिए पैसे. So these direct selling agents on commission basis, they are working for banks, giving loans, giving credit cards and all. So who is giving the services? Agent. To whom? Banks. Who will pay the tax on RCM basis? Bank. Yeah? कुछ दिमाग में जा रहा है या नहीं? Is it easy or not? Services provided by business facilitators. Same. Agents who help in developing the business of banks. Services provided by agent of business correspondent. An agent of business correspondent. They also do these ATM refilling and all. ये सब privatized है. Banks खुद नहीं जाते. Oh, I am Bank of India. I will go to all 50 ATM in the twin cities and put money. They give this work to agents. So agents are working for bank. Agents are giving service to bank. Who should charge GST? Agents. Who are paying the GST? Banks. Followed all of you? Right. Security supply service provided to a registered person. However, nothing contained in this entry shall apply to establishment or department of central government, state government, union territory. Services supply to registered person, any person other than body corporate giving service to a registered person. Yeah, right. So other than body corporate, if you are giving the service to a registered person, let the registered person pay the tax under RCM basis. Services provided by renting of motor vehicle designed to carry passengers, where cost of fuel is also included. All your Ola and all. Cab service provided to body corporate. Any, I gave the example under RCM na, Rohan. Any person other than body corporate, ओला का नहीं आएगा अगर वो खुद भी ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर है तो उसको देना. छोटा मोटा कैब सर्विस वाला other than body corporate who supplies service to a body corporate does not issue an invoice, then who will pay the tax? Arch Limited, body corporate. Clear? Services of lending of securities. Lending a person whose deposit securities registered in name of person on his behalf, intermediary under the scheme of SEBI. Borrower is a person who borrows the securities. Okay, right? Against the securities you can borrow and all. So borrower will pay the tax. थोड़े services छोड़ दो. Even last one तो I've already added earlier. ये गलती से repeat हो गया है 17th वाला. ये ऊपर ही आ गया है overseas committee. ठीक है? हाँ. Now how the questions are asked, dear students, in the exam for this, how the questions are asked. State with reason person who's liable to pay GST in each of the following independent cases. Assume recipient is located. See, everywhere it is given. Located in taxable territory. Located in taxable territory means the recipient is a registered person. Right. Rental income received by Telangana state government from renting of immovable property. Okay. To Shubh Private Limited. Turnover of the company is 32 lakhs. Right. Now government giving the property on rent. Abhi entry 5A may we have seen. 5A is the renting of property to a registered person. 5A. Services supplied by central government by way of renting of immovable property to a registered person. So central government is giving immovable property on rent. Right? Okay. Is it, who is liable to pay the tax here? Shubh Private Limited. As per entry 5A, if you remember entry, okay, if not, no problem. In case supplied by central government, state government, by way of renting of immovable property to a person registered under the CGST Act, the recipient will be liable to pay GST. Hence, Shubh Private Limited. Exam में ना थोड़ा आंसर का मेन पार्ट अंडरलाइन करना. Government is giving rental pay property to Shubh Private Limited. Obviously, he's registered. They said they are located in taxable territory. So let them pay the tax. Legal fees received by Tanmay, a senior advocate from Messrs. Laser Trading Company, having a turnover of 50 lakhs. So legal services received from advocate, senior advocate, firm of advocate. हाँ ये सब देखा था. They are giving services to a trading company, right? So in this case, RCM is applicable and business entity laser trading company will have to pay the tax. Any doubt here? I didn't get the doubt. Ma'am, business entity referred in 5 is not registered, ma'am. Entry 5 में registered है ना? Assuming they are located in the taxable territory means they are registered. 5A में है ना? Registered है. What is your doubt? I hope I am clearing your doubt. If not, again you can ask. Services supplied by central government and state government by way of renting of immovable property.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ask please.
Ma'am, in 5, they have excluded renting of immobile property to business entity, no, ma'am. What is the difference between 5 and 5A, ma'am? That exclusion part.
Here, this renting of the immovable property, they have excluded, correct it is, to any business entity. Okay, now there's a difference. If you are giving, central government is giving immovable property to a business entity which is located in taxable territory, just it could be any proprietorship concern, anything. But if it is a registered person, okay, then it is registered, very well, it is applicable. So now your question, what's the difference is in the business entity and what is the difference between the person registered? Business entity, all the business entity may or may not be registered, but a person registered, no, he is getting rental service from central government. He will pay the tax under RCM. Clear? Yeah. वेरी नाइस ऑब्जर्वेशन. देखो वो क्वेश्चन में क्या दिया है. एंड कभी कभी क्वेश्चन में इफ द फैक्ट्स आर नॉट गिवन, दे आर सेइंग कि recipient is in a taxable territory, but is it a business entity or not clear. So now see, rental income is received by Telangana state from renting of immovable property to Shubh Limited, whose turnover is 32 lakhs. Anyhow, if your turnover exceed 20 lakhs, you are liable to be registered. You can ask me, ma'am, what's the importance of turnover? So if this is registered entity located in the registered territory, they are receiving rental income from the central government. They have to pay tax. But central government giving rental property to any business entity may not be registered, not taxable. नहीं tax होगा. ठीक है? Right. चलो. Now here, now what I am discussing ना, dear students, ये पूरा यहाँ से यहाँ तक pay attention. थोड़ा ध्यान से करना. This is nothing but little extended part and amendment from this year. थोड़ा सा explanation they have given. देखो क्या है. Person liable to pay GST on renting of motor vehicle service. 5% when the supplier is other than body corporate and recipient is a body corporate, recipient will pay under RCM 5%. I told you, like GTA. This is not GTA. I am talking about renting of motor vehicle. By whom? Other than body corporate. Chota mota individual like Rohan, who is recipient body corporate. Recipient will pay tax under RCM. But if supplier is also body corporate, I'm giving transport company, but mine is ABC Transport Limited. It's a company, huge, branded. Movers and packers. There are so many branded movers and packers, right? And recipient is other than body corporate. Supplier will pay the tax under forward charge mechanism. There is no restriction on availing input tax credit on goods and services used in supplying GTA service by GTA. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं? ये एक्स्ट्रा लाइन क्यों दिया है? I can't say you how they make the papers of GST. Tomorrow I will tell you. जब composition, one additional line. GTA, can they avail input tax credit? Yeah. GTA, you are a small person. Let the recipient pay the tax on RCM 5%. GTA, you are registered? Yeah. Then you can pay the tax under forward charge 12%. GTA, if you pay the tax on forward charge, avail ITC. नहीं तो ITC avail करके क्या करोगे? You are unregistered. So under forward charge, can the GTA avail ITC? Yeah, because they are paying routine tax 12%, 6% CGST, exactly like your goods transport agency. ठीक है? So now it is clear to you that if the company is taking a cab service, who will pay the tax? Company. This is not a thumb rule. My next 5 minutes will help you to change example. I don't know, so many students, they have left the class. अरे ये बड़ा easy है, ये आता है. वहीं पे गड़बड़ होती है. GST class 6 months old also you should not watch. Or watch with amendments. Now what I am discussing is the amendment applicable for all 24 exam, which will twist the case, and that you can't correlate कि हाँ amendments बीच में fix कर देंगे. See, where the body corporate hires the motor vehicle for transport of employees for a period of time during which motor vehicle shall be at the disposal of the body corporate, the service would fall under service of renting of motor vehicle to carry the passengers, and body corporate will be liable to pay GST. Company, the body corporate has booked the motor vehicle for 3 full days, and motor vehicle is at the disposal of the company. Company के gate के सामने for 3 days, my transport companies, 2 vehicle will be standing. 8 hours of duty. Wherever you want to send them, your wish. Then who will pay the GST on RCM basis? Body corporate. Reverse charge would apply on act of renting of motor vehicle by body corporate, and in such case it is body corporate to use in manner. Like we have agreed that every day morning 6 to 9 and evening 6 to 9, you have to send transport company, you have to send your vehicles for to and fro of our employees from their home to office. हमको आपके 3 बस लगेंगे. ठीक है. अभी देखो. However, when body corporate avails the passenger transport for specific journeys and does not take the vehicle on rent for a particular period, the service would fall under passenger transport service, and body corporate is not liable to pay. इन डेप्थ है एकदम, केस लॉ का डिसीजन है, बट दिस अ रीसेंट अमेंडमेंट. क्या बोल रहे हैं? बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट एंड द whoever is supplying the service, okay, right, of the motor vehicle. Now motor vehicle fixed time you should be here every month, whole month, morning 6 to 9, evening 6 to 9. You have to do to and fro for our employees and directors. Okay, who is going to pay tax here? RCM basis pay body corporate. But fifth wale point mein they said body corporate is booking it for specific journeys, like routine. Company ne cab book kiya from A destination to B destination. In this, they are not booking it for a particular time and all, just for one journey. They will pay the tax with the GST. Now, in this case, RCM is not applicable. Every cab journey, the cab wala can't say, oh, you are a company, ये बिल आप कंपनी में बताओगे, आप टैक्स पे करो. ऐसा नहीं होता. Where there's an agreement between the motor vehicle service provider and the body corporate, fixed period, fixed days, fixed vehicles, then we will pay the tax in RCM. Routine, if a company for their directors trip, okay, field trip, directors जा रहे हैं field trip पे, factory देखने, so the company has just booked a cab once to and fro. Will this cab wala say, oh, you are a body corporate, you should pay the tax? See, there's a very in-depth learning, and I want to pause here and ask all of you to go through third, fourth, and fifth point and ask me doubts. We don't know how they are going to frame the question. पूछो. मतलब इसी को घुमा के पूछेंगे, बट आपको समझ में आया और you want some booster notes for this, I'll give you. Just the e-commerce operator, and then we'll close for today before time आज. पूरा composition अगले बार कर सकते हैं. Passenger transport service covers the passenger transport service over a predetermined route. जैसे वही ओला उबर जो भी है आपका. Such a beautiful logic. Company booking one cab for 3 of their directors to go out for lunch from the company to the restaurant. कंपनी ने कैब बुक किया, प्री डिटर्मिन रूट बता दिया, यहाँ से रेस्टोरेंट जाना है करके. तो the company should pay the tax on RCM basis. No, Baba. Whoever, Ola is e-commerce operator, he will pay the tax. Huh. But if company is saying ki this fixed duration, this fixed period, you send the cab, then they will pay the tax. It's new, so can I please read it once more? Because generally students go blindly in MCQs. RCM ना body corporate ने क्या ठेका लेके रखा है हर चीज में हम ही टैक्स पे करेंगे. This is simple, a practical example. 3 of directors want to go for lunch, so they have booked a cab from company to restaurant. Again they book another cab from restaurant back to company's corporate office. So will they have to pay the tax on RCM? No. This is predetermined rate. Ola, who is e-commerce operator, will pay the tax. Body corporate hires the vehicle for transport of the employees, etc., for a fixed period of time during which motor vehicle will be at the disposal. 3 hours 6 to 9, 3 hours 6 to 9, हम जहां जो रूट में भेजे. Sometimes my employees are coming from old city. Sometimes my employees are coming from high-tech city. जिधर भेजे उधर जाना पड़ेगा. Your cab should be at our service for 3 hours. And here it is one-time booking. Okay? Sure. Can I go ahead, give some response in the chat box? Are you all following? Is it this amendment worth it? I have not written here. Fourth or fifth point के पास लिख दो यहाँ पे latest amendment. All clear? चलो. Last part now. Yeah, taxability of directors. See, इसका भी मैं again like I can say refer income tax, but already I have in my way only I have printed those notes. But वो notes पढ़ने से पहले सुन लो. You are, dear student, a full-time director of a company. In one company, you are a full-time director. You are getting remuneration salary in crores of rupees. You are paying tax under 192. You are the employee of the company. Your TDS is deducted under 192. You're not covered under GST. Why? Employer-employee relationship. Who is employer? Company. Who is employee? Full-time director. Your salary is taxable under the head salary or TDS katega 192. Now, other 4-5 students, Abhi jo hai na, Shrija and Mansa and Satish, they are all freelancing directors. They are freelancing directors in 5, 6, 7, 8 companies. Whatever remuneration they are getting taxable under other source or maybe business head. And to them 194J of TDS is applicable. Yes, no 30,000 limit 194J में direct TDS कटेगा. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं? Then, are they giving the services to all these companies? Freelancing service? Yes. Who will pay the GST? बहुत simple है. And if you can link up this like income tax the way I did, nothing like that. Okay. नहीं notes अभी तो जरूरत नहीं है. If you require, you tell. हाँ ठीक है dear students, जिसको कोई भी notes लगे, 1 second हाँ. If director is working as employee of company and TDS is deducted under 192, GST is not levied. Why? Because you can add over here taxable as salary. If director is independent director, TDS is deducted under 194J, professional income or other source. Then remuneration paid to director is taxable in the hands of the company, will pay the tax on RCM basis. Okay? Chalo. Last part of today, I've already drawn the example, e-commerce operator, section 9(5). E-commerce operator. Electronic commerce means the supply of goods or services through digital online portal. If you want to learn some courses, you can go into our app, that is e-commerce operator. Or if you want to buy a product, you can go to Flipkart. Nowadays, all the major stores, Tata companies, Westside and all, Tata Click, AGO, Nykaa, all these are having their own websites and apps wherein you can go and purchase. So I told you in the diagram once again before I dive deep into this explanation. Ye clear hai? E-commerce operator is Flipkart, Urban Clap, Swiggy, jo lena hai le lo. So they are providing the service to the recipient. Client will make the payment to Amazon, Flipkart. They will deduct their commission and pay to supplier. TDS under 194O is applicable. Right? Okay. In this case, who is going to pay the GST to government? E-commerce operator. Huh? But you know, like I am teaching you all through Zoom. Ab Zoom ko bolo, are you an e-commerce operator? Who is the supplier of service of GST classes? Dipti ma'am. Who is the recipient? You all student. I to told you, GST fees is 5,000 inclusive of the GST classes की fees 5,000 है inclusive of GST. हो गया. Now you are paying it to me, but via the Zoom and all the services. So can we say that Zoom is an e-commerce operator, but ma'am वो तो registered है नहीं ना इंडिया में. Registration करवाना पड़ेगा. How will you come to know IPA, Internet Protocol Address? Even though say Zoom is from USA, whatever clients are there in India, whatever income they are earning in India, they have to pay tax in India. They have to pay the GST in. Clear to all of you? Right. Ma'am, if e-commerce operator is not in India, representative is. Yeah. So someone on behalf of e-commerce should pay the tax in India. Now, if you understand, I want to concentrate on what question is asked in exam. Electronic commerce operator means any person who owns, operate or manages digital or electronic facility or platform for electronic commerce. E-commerce operator is engaged in facilitating the supply of any goods or services or in providing any information or other service incidental to or in connection therewith, but shall not include person engaged in supply of goods and service on their own. E-commerce operators are always like middlemen. E-commerce operator displays the product or services actually supplied by a third person and the consumer buys through these portals by placing order. Yeah. And then the price consideration is collected by the e-commerce. हम तो पे किसको करते हैं? Amazon को करते हैं. And then they pass on it to the actual supplier after deduction of their commission. Okay. Now this is asked as a theory question in exam. Star market important. E-commerce operator liable to pay tax on notified services. All the provisions of Act shall apply to e-commerce as if he is a supplier. He is not a supplier is digested. Neither e-commerce is supplier of goods nor supplier of service. But they are liable to pay the tax in relation to supply of services. No physical presence of e-commerce operator का कोई branch नहीं है, कोई depot नहीं है. Then they have to pay the tax through representative. No representative, then they have to appoint a person that so and so person is liable to pay the tax. E-commerce operator themselves will pay the tax. If not, their representative. If not, appointed person liable to pay the tax. Okay. Now this is added this year. This para, again, this is a latest amendment. Anyone having old material, they will say, yeah, e-commerce operator like cab wala. Now 4 services have been added wherein e-commerce operator will pay the tax. Services by way of transport of passengers by way of radio taxi, Ola, motor car, maxi cab, motorcycle, rapido. 2-व्हीलर वाले आके आपसे लेके किसी और को पार्सल पहुंचाते हैं ना, रैपिडो, ओमनी बस, or any other motor vehicle. Earlier it was only radio cabs, sky cabs, radio cabs, Ola, Uber, but now they have added motor cab, maxi cab, motorcycle, I told you, rapido, omnibus and all. So what is radio taxi? We all know who works on GPRS. अब अरे GRPS की क्या है? GP है ना, GPRS ही है, GRPS नहीं है, GPRS, Global Positioning System or General Packet Radio Service. They work on internet. Maxi cab means motor vehicle to carry 6 passengers but not more than 12. Those whingers and all. Motor cab means motor vehicle constructed or adopted to carry more than 6 passengers, excluding driver. Motor car other than transport vehicle, omnibus, road roller, tractor, motorcycle, or invalid carriage. Omnibus means any motor vehicle. Just read कि हाँ कुछ GK होना चाहिए. और क्यों पढ़ा रहे हैं? Because the same will come in exempted service also. Specified premises would mean premises provided. हाँ, ये specified premises यहाँ आएगा. So which services e-commerce operator will pay? Radio taxi and all. Services by providing accommodation in hotels, clubs, campsite, residential, except where the person supplying service, e-commerce operator is liable for registration under 22. For example, Make My Trip or Oyo Hotels. You know, so many hotels, the name is different, and on the top they have put up the board Oyo. So they are all registered under Oyo. I want a 3-star and above hotel to book my room. I'll book it on Oyo. Oyo will refer it to various hotels. So who is Oyo? E-commerce portal. ऐसे बहुत मिलेंगे आपके, Trivago and Make My Trip and so many, right? But then Make My Trip itself is registered. Then e-commerce operator will not pay the tax. You are getting or not? Services provided accommodation in hotels, guest house, clubs, campsite for residential lodging purpose, except when person supplying such services through e-commerce operator. Okay. Services by way of housekeeping, such as plumbing, carpenting. Who provides all these services? Urban Clap. Is Urban Clap service provider? No, please. Service provider तो वो plumber है, वो सलून वाले हैं जो अर्बन क्लैप पे रजिस्टर्ड हैं, and we are the service recipient. They are the mediators, e-commerce operator, but they will collect from us GST and pay to government. Supply of restaurant service, Swiggy, Zomato, और भी कुछ अगर आपको पता होगा तो बोलो, मुझे नहीं मालूम. My son does all this. मैंने नहीं किया ये सर्विसेज अभी तक कभी. हाँ, so supply of restaurant services other than services supplied by restaurant, eating joints, etc., located in specified premises, means now I want to order an biryani through Swiggy. I am the service recipient. Biryani is provided by, say, Biryani House. They are the supplier through Swiggy. So who is charging GST? Swiggy. But I have ordered. देखो, Swiggy पे so many branded restaurants are also registered. For example, ITC Hotel has Dakshin Mandapam. हाँ, ये actual है, हैदराबाद की story. नवाब सिटी में ITC Dakshin Mandapam. It's a 7-star hotel. Now I want to call Sheer Kurma. It's a kind of sweet. So I want to call from Swiggy Sheer Kurma from ITC. So now, will the Swiggy pay the tax? Answer is no. supply of restaurant service other than services supplied by restaurant located in premises. How do you decide what is specific premises? Where restaurant के साथ hotel accommodation is also there and the rent per room is 7,500. Not all the room. Ma'am, some rooms can be 5,000, 4,000, yes. But even a single suite in that hotel is available 7,500 and above. Then that is a specified hotel. That hotel's restaurant, if you are ordering the food, Swiggy will not pay the GST. GST will be paid by the branded hotel. Clear to all of you? बहुत practical section है added now. How many of you are studying this for the first time? This part. I want you to message down first time. And then put a message in the group. This is where I feel really bad for the students. हाँ, they think दीप्ति मैम RCM पढ़ा रहे हैं, पहले भी पढ़ चुके हैं. अरे पहले पढ़ा है तो you have to write your exam, revise with Dipti ma'am. Otherwise, why you have joined the batch for updation? Only you want to do two things, ITC and value of supply. That means aim ही छोटा है, बस पास करा दो मैम. ITC 8 marks को आता है, value of supply बाकी गया. अरे this is so logical and simple. E-commerce operator is not only nowadays radio cabs. We have in fact apps for each and everything. But now see here they have not covered that Kirana app. I'm missing out the name. Where you can order your groceries and it will come to you. Zepto, I think. Yeah. That will also come. Abhi to Zepto is not. Zepto is getting the Kirana, and on that whoever is the Kirana supplier is paying the GST. Anyone, anything is not clear, ask. All of you have studied it earlier. Sabne message nahi dala. First time, first time. You've done it earlier, then good. Following categories of the services are supplied through e-commerce operator. Who will pay the tax? E-commerce operator. Clear? Right? Okay. Thank you for the response. Okay, this is very simple. Can we just read it logically and try to answer? Huh? Classification of the goods. Now, if I am buying a shampoo, so shampoo comes under cosmetics, or cosmetics pay 12% GST, just an example. But if I am buying a medicated shampoo, okay, huh? I am ordering Citadel shampoo. Citadel shampoo is a medicated shampoo, and that doesn't comes under cosmetics, it comes under medicine, and on medicine GST is 5%. So all the products under GST, the GST is chargeable as per the rates which are given in the Custom Tariff Act first schedule. As per that, all the products are given HSN, Harmonized System of Nomenclature के हिसाब से codes are given to them. Okay, 2 digit, 4 digit, 6 digit. Like, you know, depending on your turnover. If your turnover is above 1.5 crore, you have to go for 6-digit code. So that code will decide what rate of GST is applicable. I have explained you simple meaning. You have to read. That code will decide ki your product is covered under which chapter, which heading, which subheading, which tariff item under the Custom Tariff Act. Same way for services. अच्छा हाँ rates एक बार देख लो ना. HSN code I will tell you in registration chapter कि depending on your turnover how many digits HSN code you have to put. I don't know how many of you remember in the very first class one page I had left HSN code registration. I said if I start this chapter it's like entering that chapter. तो तब छोड़ दिया था अब आ गया. Rate of taxes will be specified in the notification, right? And for goods, what is the IGST rate? 0% or 0.25%, 3%, 5%, 12%, 18%, and some sin goods 28%. CGST rates are half of the IGST because remaining will be SGST or UTGST. Clear hai? No, you don't have to learn these rates. Just know them. For services, some services are taxable at 1.5%, 5%, 7.5%, 12%, 18%, and 20%. Okay, right? The differences here, these three are the same: 12, 18, and 20. Services are classified according to service accounting code. Yeah, different chapters are there: construction service, restaurant, financial service. But ठीक है, ये कुछ आपको याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Just know what is SAC, what is SN, and harmonized system of nomenclature. See, based on the nature of the goods, they have decided tum idhar jao, tum udhar jao. Like you all are standing in a room and you're saying, you go and sit there, you go and sit there. Like that it is. So that's all for today's class. We have covered 5 sections in section 9. Sections I'm trying to help you to memorize. What is the section for supply? Section 718, parameters of supply, as per CGST Act 2017. What is section 8? Composite and mixed supply. What is section 9? Levy. In that RCM 93 and 94, वो जो बड़ा वाला list पड़ा. What is 95? E-commerce operator. E-commerce operator compulsory are required to get registration. जब registration section 20 to 24 में जाएंगे, clear हो जाएगा. हाँ, और क्या किया हमने? And we have done abhi last what we did, classification of goods and services. Day after tomorrow we are not taking, some schedule is there, March end and all, last classes. Do attend morning classes. Only 2 classes are left tomorrow: overseas tour operator amendment and AMT and all those topics. Day after tomorrow it's going to be total income questions from DT compiler. Free copy is given to you in Telegram. वो भी करो. Any doubts are there, don't wait please till your Saturday. Saturday तक wait करने की जरूरत नहीं है. It's not Saturday, today is Wednesday, next class is on Friday. Day after tomorrow तक wait नहीं करना है. कोई भी doubt है पूछो. Whether you're writing CMA exam or CA exam, levy of supply, read it on your own. You can read composition also, you will follow. Composition are the chota people whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore, or in services ka gross receipts less than 50 lakhs. Don't go for output, input and pay the tax every month, two returns. Don't do all that. Quarterly returns, monthly payment, just whatever is your sales on that. Like how in income tax we go for 44AD, presumptive taxation. Don't maintain books 44A. Don't get it audited. Just on your turnover, pay 8% as net profit, bye bye. Like that is composition tax, subject to some rules to whom it is applicable and all. Okay, is my speed fine? Everything you are following, right? Right. अच्छा, और किसी चीज के लिए आपको notes चाहिए? Just once, because this is amendment. 2 minutes more can I take and then ask you all to share your notes, please. हमने ये तो पूरा लिखा है आज. 9(1), 9(2), 9(3) detail you don't have to write ki who all are the people who are covered. Okay, but because this is an amendment, I want all of you to write. Yeah, one to this you write down, no? GST on motor vehicle. GST on motor vehicle to body corporate company. Problem was with them only. Booked for, ऐसे लिखो, booked for fixed date, time, for to and fro for employee. हमने बुक ही कर लिया कि every day 5 to 9 and all you should be here. Then RCM 5% tax paid by company. Latest amendment. Motor vehicle booked by body corporate for predetermined route journey. Just as I told you, from office to restaurant and restaurant to forward charge mechanism 12%. जिससे बुक किया वो टैक्स पे करेगा, हम क्यों पे टैक्स करें? RCM not payable by body corporate. See, you can definitely attempt the question in exam very nicely point wise, and I'm telling you, we are not allowed to correct the final papers. I'll not lie here. हमको कोई हक नहीं है. पर मैं आपको बता रही हूँ कि when you write in exam and if you underline the clue words, you are like giving so much of relaxation to paper corrector. Residential status, number of days, all लिखने के बाद to conclude, Mr. Raj is a resident and ordinary. Underline that clue part. Huh? Chalo, now remuneration to director. These efforts are worth it, I'm telling you. These are called as booster mind map. Remuneration to directors. Full-time director. Full-time managing director. Salary. Taxable. TDS under section 192. GST not applicable. Don't copy blindly. If you don't understand, unmute and ask up. That's why we are taking the classes on Zoom. Otherwise, I could have done so much open teaching in YouTube. You know now my confidence. I don't need recording. Income tax है या GST है. Full-time managing director in a company. You are getting salary, remuneration. TDS is deducted under 192. Employer-employee relationship. GST not applicable. चलो आ जाओ वही. Part-time director in many companies. You know, freelancing director. Remuneration. Or I also want all of you to write as sitting fees. Taxable as business income or other source. जो आपको करना है. TDS बिल्कुल लगता है under section 194J. Professionals. 30,000 limit is not there. 194J non-competent fees, royalty, all 30,000 limit is there, but इसके लिए नहीं है. Today if you revise 194J, 194 वो 5 मिनट में याद हो जाएगा आपको, क्योंकि आपने पढ़ा है. RCM basis, GST payable by company. Directors are giving service to company, but company will pay the GST. Both the flowcharts are clear to you? Right. Classification of goods. What is applicable? HSN. Classification of services. What is applicable? SAC. For MCQ purpose, just know this much. Now, section 9(5), e-commerce operator to pay tax. E-commerce operator is neither a recipient nor the supplier under section 9(5) in following cases. Number 1, radio cabs, motorbike, maxi cabs, etc. तो एक तो रेडियो कैप्स पे बोला आपने, और क्या बोला? accommodation in hotels. Can we write the example? Ola, accommodation in hotels, guest house. Example is Oyo. So e-commerce operator. Housekeeping services. What is housekeeping services? Plumber, electrician, barber, etc. Example is urban club. I want you to write. You don't know how much you are sinking in your mind. You will never come and say कि मैम आपने पढ़ाया हम भूल गए, क्योंकि आपने लिखा. And the last one is restaurant service. Swiggy, Zomato. Restaurant service. Except restaurant attached to hotel with room tariff greater than 7,500 per day. इसको NA, not applicable. How is this? CMA एग्जाम में तो CMA कम पूछते हैं, they ask practical based question, but CMA में आज भी they are asking theory question. Literally इतने theory question पूछते हैं. इनकम टैक्स में यहाँ they can ask you what are the 4 services wherein e-commerce operator will pay the tax. RCM नहीं है बेटा, RCM 9394 हो गया. This is e-commerce operator is neither a service provider nor a service recipient. He will pay the tax. Have we covered up everything? Thank you so much for trusting me and staying till here and writing the notes. Finished writing all the notes, all of you, right? Bear with me. This week we are taking the class day after tomorrow. Hope you are revising every day. Come up with any question you get. Click the picture. CMA material, CA material, RTP, MTP. कोई भी doubt है तो challenges group में you all are there, or you can put your doubt in the Telegram, wherever you are connected, right? Thank you so much. See you all on Friday for the most loving and beautiful class of composition text. It's, without the material, you can learn composition text. Itna sundar, simple wala section hai. Section 10. Okay? Right? Okay, one twist also I wanted to discuss here, dear students, that I'm not going to teach after this exemptions. Exemptions का list बड़ा सारा है, ये exempt है, ये taxable है, जैसा TDS, उसको बाद में करेंगे. After this, directly we are going to compulsory question asked on time of supply, value of supply. There's a small topic for CA students which will need only one class. That's place of supply. Exclusively, we will take it at the end. Okay? So I hope the sync is clear. Material I'll send maybe by tomorrow only. Time of supply and place of supply. All right, so class should close with a thank you from the bottom of my heart, allowing me, trusting me to share all my knowledge inputs, and promise that you all are going to share the notes in the group. Okay, and if you miss the class, I am your accountability partner. Can you put a message over there why you are missing the class? Nothing to name shame. ऐसे हमको कुछ भी कहीं नहीं करना है. Hope by you know my nature. But when you are accountable, no, you will not miss the classes. And if you miss for genuine reason, comment over there. Or at least message me. Because we know who all are attending regularly. Right? Okay. Thank you all of you. Bye-bye. Thank you should be on volume, full volume. And then bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.